Flashback. Not too many years. Close enough in time to still vividly remember the smell of unchanged friolator grease, the brackish stank of old steam table water heating up, the scorched odor of a griddle caked with layers of ancient mel fry. It didn't smell like ortolan. I was working a lunch counter on Columbus Avenue. It was a transitional phase in my career, meaning I was transitioning from heroin to crack, and I was wearing a snap-front white polyester dishwasher shirt with the name of the linen service over the left breast pocket and dirty blue jeans. I was cooking pancakes and eggs fucking Benedict, the English muffins toasted under the salamander on one side only, half-assed because I just didn't care. I was cooking eggs over easy with pre-cooked bacon rewarmed on the griddle and sunny side ups and some kind of a yogurt thing with nasty fruit salad and granola in it. I could make any kind of omelet with the fillings available, and the people who sat at my counter and placed their orders looked right through me. Which was good, because if they really saw me, really looked into my eyes, they'd see a guy who every time somebody ordered a waffle wanted nothing more than to reach forward, grab them by the hair, and drag a dirty and not particularly sharp knife across their throat before pressing their face into the completely fucked up, always sticky waffle iron. If the fucking thing worked anywhere near as inefficiently as it did with waffles, their face would later have to be pried off with a butter knife. I was, needless to say, not a happy man. I had, after all, as I reminded myself frequently, been a chef. I had run entire kitchens. I had once known the power, the adrenaline rush of having 20 to 30 people working for me, the full-tilt satisfaction of a busy kitchen making food that one could, at least for the time and circumstances, be proud of. When you've known the light caress of Egyptian sailcloth against your skin, it's all the more difficult to go back to poly, particularly when it's adorned with a linen company's logo of a fat, smilingly accommodating chef twirling his mustache. At what seemed at the time to be the end of a long, absurd, strange, wonderful, but lately awful road, there was nothing to be proud of. Except maybe the soup. I made the soup. It was goulash. So I was scraping home fries off the griddle with a spatula, and I turned around to plate them up next to an order of eggs over hard when I saw a familiar face across the room. It was a girl I knew in college, sitting down at a rear table with friends. She had been, back then, much admired for her fabulousness, it being the 70s and fabulousness having then been the greatest of virtues. She was beautiful, glamorous, in an arty, slightly decadent Zelda Fitzgerald kind of a way, outrageous, smart as hell, and fashionably eccentric. I think she let me fondle her tit once. She had, since college, become a downtown personality, poised on the brink of an apparent success for her various adventures in poetry and the accordion. I read about her frequently in the alternative paper of the day. I saw her and tried instinctively to shrink into my polyesters. I'm quite sure I wasn't actually wearing a peaked paper cap, but it sure felt like I was. I hadn't seen the girl since school when I, too, it had appeared to some, had a career trajectory aimed somewhere other than a lunch counter. I was praying she wouldn't see me back there, but it was too late. Her gaze passed over me. There was a brief moment of recognition and sadness. But in the end, she was merciful. She pretended not to have seen. I was ashamed of that counter then, I'm thinking, but not now. From this rather luxurious vantage point, the air still redolent of endangered species and fine wine, sitting in a private dining room, licking ortolan fat off my lips, I realized that one thing led directly to the other. Had I not taken a dead-end dishwashing job while on summer vacation, I would not have become a cook. Had I not become a cook, I would never and could never have become a chef. Had I not become a chef, I never would have been able to fuck up so spectacularly. Had I not known what it was like to fuck up, really fuck up, and spend years cooking brunches and bullshit no-star joints around town, that obnoxious but wildly successful memoir I wrote wouldn't have been half as interesting. Because, just so we all understand, I'm not sitting here at this table among the gods of food because of my cooking. Dessert arrives, and it's île flottante, a simple meringue offering up its charms from a puddle of crème anglaise. Everybody roars with delight at this dino-era classic, as old school as it gets. We bask in the warm glow of bonhomie, of our shared appreciation for this remarkable meal. We toast our good fortune with Calvados and cognac. Life does not suck. But the obvious question lingers. I know I'm asking it quietly of myself. What the fuck am I doing here? I am the peer of no man nor woman at this table. None of them, at any time in my career, would have hired me, even the guy sitting next to me, and he's my best friend in the world. What could my memoir of an undistinguished, even disgraceful career have said to people of such achievements? And who are these people anyway? Leaning back in their chairs, enjoying their after-dinner cigarettes, they look like princes. Are these the same losers, misfits, and outsiders I wrote about? Or did I get it all wrong?